is equal to 4, the square root of 4, and this is going to be the square root of 9, and we have the square root of 16.
Why do you keep writing the 2?
Because I'm taking, this is, would you agree that this is the same as this?
Yeah.
Okay? And so we're going to be talking, we're going to be talking about what.
2, it's the square root of 4?
Right.
Is that what the 2 is there for?
Yeah. So this is telling you we're going to learn all this vocab today about what these mean. All right?
Should we be writing this down?
I would, because we're now going to go into,
Wait, bring it back.
bring it back. Oh, where am I? Okay. So I had 4.5. So my exponents are now rational number. So I have 4 to the 1/2. I can see is, and there really is a what here? There's a 1. And this is the square root of 9. And this is the first power. And 16. So you really have been dealing with these for a long time without recognizing how they're being written. Okay? Everybody good with those? All right. So then let's go with evaluate 8 to the 1/3. And I'm going to ask you, there are going to be some things here that you're going to memorize.
Is that the cubed root of 8?
Yes, it's going to be the cubed root of 8. Okay, and the cubed root of 8 is what, Danielle? 2. Okay. About the cubed root 27. It's the cube root of 27, 9.
Is that
3. Okay, this is a 3. I've written them all as a 3 because I know that 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So you should know these. Okay. How about the cubed root of 64?
4.
Good. Cubed root of 64. And I could write this as 64, and the cubed root is 4. How about cubed root of 81?
Wait, how do you solve this? Like, what did you do for that?
I needed to know what number multiplied by itself is 4.
6. 4. How do you find the root on your calculator? 4.
We're going to get there. Okay. So if could I write 64 raised to the 1/3? And what is it?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could do this. Okay. Now, just as an aside, that's the whole thing about what logarithms are. Logarithms are looking for exponents that we are going to be looking for, well, is it, I mean, I could write this as 64 to the 0.3, or I could have 64.1.
How do you do cubed roots on your calculator?
Okay, so what I just said, what we're doing is, right now, if I ask you this, you know that this can be written as this.
Oh,
Right? And then you can, do we know how to calculate this? 64 caret 1/3, and we know that that would be 4. But some of these are pretty standard, and you should know them.
But like 81 is like 4.35. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So 81, I guess you wouldn't know, but I'm just talking about the common ones. All right. Are we ready? All right. One more. How about 125 to the 1/3? 125 to the 1/3 is what?
5.
5. Okay. All
What
right.
if,
That's it for those.
what
Okay.
if they aren't square numbers though?
Pardon me?
What if they aren't square numbers? Like what if we had like 14?
Yeah. That's
You could still enter that that in.
I know, but if we have to figure out that.
Oh, I'm not asking you to do these without a calculator,
Oh,
okay? I'm not. And we'll talk about the history of logarithms. I mean, like, there's some, the logarithms are just amazing. And I have some really cool things that I'll show you, because logarithms have been around for a long, long, long time, and people have been calculating them without a calculator, and it's truly astounding what they did. Okay, so here's the vocab that I want you to know. This is called the index, and the number inside is called the radicand vocab. Okay, so we have the index, and we say that that's 16 to the 1/4 power. Okay, so I could read that as 16 raised to the 1/4 power. All right. Okay, so let's look at this next problem. You ready?
Is that negative?
It is a negative.
but we can do this on our calculator.
All right, well, first we're going to rewrite it. So I know that if it is a negative, I'm talking about a small number, and what can I do? Can I rewrite that as 125, 1/125 to the 4/3?
Sure.
Yes. Okay? And so once I have this piece, 125 to the 4/3, I'm not dealing with this right now, do I know? Now, this is where it gets tricky. This 3 is always, the bottom number just slides over. So don't think about putting the 4 there. It's the 3 that's getting slid over.
And then you
What
just
happens?
multiply by 4, right?
Okay? So I am looking for the cubed root of 125, and the cubed root of 125 is,
Which is just all under 1.
yes, this whole thing is under 1. I'm just dealing with this right now. So it's the cubed root of 125, which is 5, and then what? To the 4th power. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, I have what, 25, 25, 25 times 25 is what? 625, good. So I would have, my answer would be 1/625. Sorry, that's, the writing is on it from another page. It's like, what is that? Okay, so let's look at that from the beginning. I started with a I'll move it back in a second. I started with a negative exponent. I know a negative exponent means a small number, so I made it positive,
So wait,
okay? And then I brought it down into I made a fraction. Okay, so remember, if I have 2 to the negative 1, it means
Oh,
it's
yeah.
1/2. I just brought it down,
I
okay?
remember.
Okay, so that's all I did here, was I brought it down. My 3 is my index, and the 4, it's being raised to the 4th
How did
power.
you know that the 3 was your index?
Because it's in the denominator, and that's where it's written. Okay, so let's go back to what we
What is
just
this called?
did.
This whole thing?
Right here, it's called rational exponents. Okay, so right here, when we did 1/2, the 2, when we wrote that, remember I wrote it with the square root of 4? And I showed it to you with a 2 here. Because this is telling you what the index is.